Hi Stampers, this is Kim at Great Inspirations, and today I want to show you how I made these cards. And I call it a pull slide card because you pull it and it slides, but you can also push it and it will slide back. Now some people just call it a slider card, that's fine. This card has been around for a long time, but it's fun to make. It's, like I said, an oldie but a goodie. And you can make it using cardstock. I've used some Flirty Flamingo and some basic white cardstock for this one. I've used the Magenta Madness and the basic white cardstock for this one. But for this one, I just used some Designer Series paper with the basic white cardstock. So, I'll show you how I made these. I'll just show you the basic card, and then you can decorate yours however you care to do so. But what we're going to need is we'll have to have a piece of either cardstock or Designer Series paper that is cut 8.5 by 5.5, and we will cut and score that together. And then you'll need a piece of basic white, or at least a light color cardstock that is cut at 4 3/4 by 3 3/4, and we're going to do some cutting on that piece. Now, all these measurements and the list of supplies will be on my blog, and I will put that blog address in the description below this video. So everything you need to know will be there. But let's go ahead and start. We'll get out the paper trimmer. And we will need to open little arm up a bit, and the first thing we're going to do is score, and we'll score the cardstock. And let's open this up, and our first score will be at 4 inches. And the score blade, of course, is the lighter color blade. And then we'll slide down to 8 inches. Okay, there we go. And we'll score. And that will make the little 1/2 inch flap that will attach both sides of this card to one another. So now we're going to do some cutting. We're going to, here's where you scored at the 8 inch mark. We're going to flip it. And you'll have that little 1/2 inch area that you've scored will be facing to the left. And we're going to put it in at 1 1/4 inches. And I'm going to bring in my little piece of white cardstock here so I can see the numbers really well on my trimmer. But we're going to start at 3/4 of an inch, right there, and just cut down to 4 3/4. So from 3/4 to 4 3/4. Then we'll raise this up, move the paper down to 3 3/4 inches. And we'll do the exact same thing. We'll start at the 3/4 inch mark and cut down to 4 3/4. And we're finished with that. Now we'll bring in our basic white piece of paper, and we'll put this with the, along the 4 inches, the 4-inch side, we'll put in at 2 inches. And we're going to cut. You can do this one of 2 ways. You can start at the bottom and cut up to the top to just within about 1/4 inch of cutting it in half, but I like to start from the top, and I just cut down right to 3 1/2 and maybe a little bit more. And see, your paper, it's almost cut into 2 pieces. But that's all the cutting and scoring. Now the next thing, get your foam folder. We'll fold these and we'll go along with the score lines, and we'll go along with the bone folder. Excuse me, my tongue's getting all twisted. We'll go along with the bone folder to make sure that fold is nice and crisp. We'll do the same thing with this score line. Now we'll open it up, and we're going to larger piece, put it towards the top, and we're going to thread the smaller piece through the cut lines, and then just scoot this on in here, just like that. Okay. Now, we need a little Scotch tape, and we're going to just tape this. And what I usually do, I usually just fold this back a little as well, and I put some tape on both sides because I just want to make sure that's going to stay in place. Okay, so now we're going to need to get some score tape, or this is a tearing tape. And we'll want to put it along here, along this edge, and along this edge. And put it right at the very bottom. And I just put it to the score line here. And then we'll put some along here. And let me find my little, oh, I don't have my little, oh, there it is. I take your pick tool. This helps to get this off the tape. Fold that, fold this, and there's your mechanism. Now, in order to make it easier to pull this in and out, you can take, and I probably should have done this before we folded everything up. Here, I've got another one. Yes, before you get the card put together, you might want to cut your notch. And if you have this 1.5 inch hole punch, the little circle punch, it's perfect. But you can use the 2 inch, the 2.5 inch. You can even use a die. Just put part of the die there and run it through your die cutting machine. But I'm like this because it lines up. If you look, this lines up perfectly. This punch, you can center it just perfectly just by using the sides of the punch. And then just, and then you would have the notch, which I think I can do that on this one. Might not be too great, but I'll get it in there. There you go. This one's a little larger. This one is smaller. But then to give them something to grab a hold of, you can use just a regular hole punch, you know, a paper punch. I use my crocodile to make this one, and then just thread your ribbon through there. Or for this one, I just use staples and stapled it. I just happen to have green staples in my stapler. I have no clue why, but they seem to go okay. But anyway, that is the basic way you make this mechanism to make your pull and slide card. Here you go. Here's the 3 cards I made. Like I say, you can check out my blog for complete instructions, more photographs of the cards, and all of the measurements. So until next time, stampers, you have a great day and stamp happy.